They should make a movie about the true story of Captain Marvel because it is insane, and it involves more than 3 comic book companies. In 1939, Bill Parker and CC Beck created Billy Batson's Captain Marvel for Fawcett Comics. A couple of years later, DC Comics sued Fawcett for copyright infringement. It was alleged that Captain Marvel was a copy of their superhero, Superman. DC ended up losing the court case because they found that some of the Superman newspaper comic strips didn't have the copyright logo on it. This meant that Superman was free to use for anyone. For the next decade, more than half the Superman comic strips were released by a company other than DC Comics. So after losing the court case, DC appealed. In 1953, after years in the courts and declining sales of Captain Marvel comics, Fawcett settled with DC. As part of the settlement, Fawcett agreed to cease production on Captain Marvel comics. Fawcett Comics also had to pay $400,000 dues, which is about $4.5 million in today's money. This is where Marvel Comics comes in. In 1967, Marvel Comics created their own Captain Marvel. Because the trademark for the name Captain Marvel at Fawcett had lapsed, Marvel were able to take it. This meant that when DC bought the rights to Fawcett's characters in 1991, they had to change the character's name. DC's Captain Marvel is now referred to as Shazam. So a movie about this should primarily focus on DC's perspective as they seem to be at the center of all of it. It should cover everything from Fawcett creating the character to DC releasing their first comic under the name Shazam. I think it should be similar to The Social Network in terms of style and tone. Also, the movie should be called Wiz because that was the first comic that Captain Marvel appeared in. Or a better title. Anyway, who do you think should star in a movie about the history of Captain Marvel?